Okay. So 9.4 is notes on hunger, malnutrition, and famine. So really, this one is really just a kind of a bunch of definitions, just the concepts to go along with them. Um, so undernourishment and malnourishment are related. Nourishment kind of refers to food or whatever. So you got undernourishment, which is a lack of overall food, energy for survival. So undernourishment is kind of is related to like starvation, like where somebody's really literally not getting enough food to really meet their energy needs to survive. Okay, malnourishment. Any of you, those of you that have taken Spanish, might as mal is referring to bad. So like or mal if you're in Espanol. But mal is bad. So like this is like bad food or bad nourishment, which means you're getting enough food to survive. Probably like this is going back to the rice thing, right? Like they're eating enough to get energy needs to survive, but they don't have enough of the essential nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. So it's going to lead to like serious health problems, which could eventually lead to death, or a quicker death, or something like that, due to health problems and things along those lines. So undernourishment, not having enough food, period. Malnourishment, not having enough good, nutritious food to stay healthy. So it leads to health problems. Then we've got a third one, which is more of a relatively new development. Um, in the past, well, I say new, but 50 years, so whatever. Um, Overnourishment. Overnourishment, exactly what it sounds like. Excess of food or energy in diet, potentially leading to obesity and serious health problems. So we know, in the United States, we know that obesity is a problem. Uh, we have access to a lot of food, and it's not always, um, a lot of it is calorie rich, not necessarily healthy though, and with a more technologically advanced country, we a lot of our jobs become more sedentary as we develop more ways to be efficient with them and stuff like that, right? So, um, so that also obviously leads to health problems as well. Okay, um, so 2/3, and I don't know if these numbers still totally hold true. It's hard to kind of find numbers on this, but from the book, it was 2/3 of the undernourished people. So remember, people not getting enough food. So 2/3 of the global people not getting enough food lived in Asia and the Pacific. So, and if you think about what that covers, that kind of makes sense, right? It's our two biggest countries population wise, India and China, and another one that's really big as well, Pakistan. So, but 2/3 of the people that are don't have enough food are found in Asia and the Pacific area, which is, if you think about it, it's a little bit not weird, but it's kind of interesting because I don't know. Let me ask you guys this: when you think about, like, when you get an image of a like a child, like a starving child, from a poor country, like what image, like what kind of like what country do you usually think of? Yeah, that's what I always do too, like Africa, right? Like Somalia, Rwanda, like some of those war-torn African countries, type of thing. So yeah, the commercials and I mean, let's be honest, in terms of like agricultural production and so like that's like Africa is a total crap show. Like that, I mean, they got a ton of really hot desert area. They can't really grow a lot of stuff, right? So you think about that too. Um, but so that's kind of what pops into my mind. But really, Asia and the Pacific, one, because they have so many people in India and China, but also there are a lot of very poor areas in those spots as well. So the highest percentage of the population, and this goes to what we were talking about just a few seconds ago, highest percentage of the population that is undernourished is found in sub-Saharan Africa. So this goes into what we typically think of. So when you're talking about overall percentage of the population, that is Africa. Um, Total number, Asia and the Pacific, because we've got so many people. So if you're wondering where uh, So actually, let's do maps. So if you're wondering what sub-Saharan Africa is, so you're seeing like, so the Saharan desert is essentially all this. So when you're talking about, um, the really poor areas, you're seeing like some of these like Niger, Chad, Sudan, and like in terms of food too, and then sub-Saharan too. So like the south part of Sahara, and then some of these too, like like Nigeria, um, the Central African Republic, Cameroon, Ethiopia is well known for being very poor and having food problems. Somalia, right? So all of this kind of area in here. So that's when they're talking about sub-Saharan Africa, that's what they're referring to in here. All right. Um, so a full one third of the population. So I mean, think about it. That's 33%. So, and that's undernourished, meaning not getting enough food really to stay alive, like struggling to get enough food to stay alive. So if you think about us here in Sandwich, there's approximately 600 students ish. Okay. That would mean that would be almost 200 students would be chronically undernourished. Okay. In this class, that would be 3 to 4 students would be chronically undernourished, struggling to get enough food to survive. Okay. Um, so, what is the root cause of hunger? I've got it bolded here. Poverty. Poverty is really the root cause of hunger. And we talked about a lot of reasons. I'm not going to go into that a ton. We kind of mentioned, discussed stuff related to that. So, definition of famine. Famine has two parts. The definition has two parts. It is a severe shortage of food. That's the first part. And then also accompanied with a significant increase in the death rate. So, severe shortage of food and a severe increase in the death rate. Okay. What are some of the main causes of famine? Uh, Severe weather events, so typhoons, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, stuff like that. Drought and flooding. So really, all of this stuff is kind of severe weather things at the beginning here, and then so like severe weather, and then wars and conflicts are the two main causes of famine. Okay. All right. Questions on that? Be